Welcome to Heart Home Community's most recent Baldwinsville Community Update. I'm your host, Shelley Hoffman. Hey everybody, it's Shelley Hoffman with Mary Frances from the Town of Van Buren. And Mary Frances, it's been a couple months since we spoke, so it's nice to see you.
You too? You've been busy?
And I'm pretty sure it snowed or rained the last time that we spoke, and it's raining again. So I'm just going to throw it out there. If we need to have a picnic or something sunny and beautiful on a particular day, we probably should not speak, Mary Frances.
Well, the only good thing about all the rain is I've been doing some gardening and lawn work, so it does help me take care of that. But other than that, it could stop here already. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So anyway, what's been happening in the town of Van Buren? It looks like a lot from, when you drive downtown or you see some things being built and, whatnot. So I'm kind of excited to talk to you today.
Well, I know a favorite topic of yours is Taco Bell.
It is.
And demolition has started, and they anticipate still a fall opening. Now, fall can be a couple of months, but it is in the works. So
Perfect.
Your kids will be happy as soon as it's up. I know.
They will be so happy. I did have a concern. I'm going to get off topic for a second of the town of Van Buren and just hit this is, I wasn't even sure because so many places aren't opening, they're closing or limited hours because of the lack of employees, right? So to see something getting built and going to open when there's a shortage of workers out there, I was just hoping that was going to continue. So it was nice to see that it was moving forward.
Yes, it is. And the lack of employees, that's tough for everybody. And I'm not going to sit here and say I have any sort of answer on that, but just for people to continue supporting our local businesses and restaurants and pubs, that's the best thing for them to keep them in business.
Absolutely. Yep. And we do a great job here in Baldwinsville of supporting the local businesses for the most part. So that's good. So what else has been going on? I know you got quite the list.
Well, some people have been asking me about what's being built over behind the storage facilities on Van Buren Road and 690. In that part of Marion Meadows, the whole complex, it's called Marion Gardens, and there's approximately 64 to 70 townhomes that are going to be built, and they will be rentals.
Oh, really?
So around here, the big thing is people don't want to have a house, or right now they can't afford it. So they're looking for affordable rental space. And so that is one thing that is in progress.
Are they going to be 1 story or 2 stories? Do you know the layout?
I did until you asked me.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm thinking, I know some of them will have garages. I just don't know off the top of my head. It's one of those things that just kind of went out as soon as you asked it.
Well, and you know why I asked, right? Because people are always asking me, are there any rentals around, any townhouses, 1 floor, 2 floor? So I will pick your brain about 2 hours after we're done talking with the text message and say, hey, which ones are they? Do you remember?
Absolutely. And I'll get back to you.
Perfect.
All right. And just so people realize, the Creative Homes is still planning on going live in the late September, and they are doing a tremendous amount of building down there. So, and those homes are starting at a fairly high entry level. So it's great to see the building going on.
Yeah.
But, I know some people are still a little concerned about it, but it's great for the people that are moving in there, and the homes are being built. People are still asking for building permits. So, people like that area.
Yeah. Well, and it's close to 690. You can get, onto 690, shoot down to the city or different parts of the community. So, and it'll be nice to have the Parade of Homes back. If you've never gone to the Parade of Homes and you're looking for something to do, for the amount of days that it's going on this year, it's like our own little HGTV kind of a tour, right? You see things in homes that maybe you've never seen before. So the Parade of Homes is, if you're into that type of thing, it's pretty cool to walk through some of the ideas that the builders and the designers have.
Right. And if I remember, there's 4 or 5 different builders in there at least. So yeah, you'll have an option of so many different plans, layouts, and it really will be nice. I'm looking forward to getting down there. So,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
know
and if you
people are
look,
still asking, are they still going to build the patio homes that were talked about? And that is later on in the plans. They're going to get the single family homes done, and then they will move over towards that end of the project. So people
perfect.
are still very interested in those.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people used to leave, like, we get a little bit older maybe, and then leave the area. Well, now they want to stay, they want to stay here longer. They want that one floor living to be around to spend time with family members, whether they're full-time residents or part-time residents. So I know, in talking to Bob Wicks with the town of Lysander, it's the same thing. Patio homes, one floor living is something that they were talking about over in that town too, and finding ways to add that type of living here in the community. So I think it's great.
Yeah. And anytime anybody hears of a potential sale of the patio homes over on Fairway Circle or over Idlewood Court, that area, those houses go within hours to, maybe a couple of days. Things are just, they don't stay around because they are one floor and, nice units. So, and with the HOA, so the lawn mowing and the snow blowing is done for them. So yeah, those are in high demand.
Yes. I wouldn't mind having one of those myself. I got to be honest. So just to have that stuff taken care of for me. I don't know if my girls will move into it, Mary Frances, but I would.
I have a ranch, but otherwise, that would be a very attractive option for me. So
Yeah.
maybe a couple of years down it's going to be a couple of years, I would think, a year and a half before they get built. But yeah, I think those will go pretty quickly down there.
Absolutely.
So,
nice.
Let's see. As far as other construction, it's not quite the same thing, but the solar farm out on Pottery Road has started construction.
Okay.
And solar is a big thing in the area. I think we have 4 in the planning or actual built stages here in the town. And more people are getting into it. It's bigger companies coming in and getting with using farmers' lots so that they can build some bigger facilities out there.
Nice.
I'm kind of sticking on the same thing as far as I know the codes office has been getting calls about the storm drains being, clogging or whatnot. And when I talked to somebody at town hall the other day, we have approximately, a few hundred storm drains in the town. And there's just no way for the highway department to take care of all those all the time. So as homeowners, I'm going to respectfully ask you to sweep the grass off of those. If there's any sticks and branches that are going to prevent water from going down there, if it's right outside of your house, it's going to impact you. So, as a resident homeowner, it's only going to take 5 minutes, every once in a while to clean that off. And it'll help not only you, but it'll help your neighbors as well. So,
well, and I think a lot of times people think they're doing a favor maybe to the for putting things out into the road as opposed to killing their grass. What's the big deal if it goes on the road? But the problem is it does go into the drains, and then it causes problems for everybody in the community.
Right. Yep. It'll clog it. It'll get down there, and then if it doesn't get washed away quick enough, it certainly will start clogging things. And the other thing, in some of the drains and some of the swales, people will throw in branches and, some plastic tins have been in there, and they just think, well, it's biodegradable. But what they don't realize is it's going to block some of that water passage, which impacts everybody else in their neighborhood. So again, respectfully ask you just to not do that. You can take the stuff over to the compost site over in Amboy. I know I've taken a bunch of stuff over there this year in my personal vehicle, and I have quite a few bins to go over at this point as well. So, and that's part of home ownership. So, you don't want to irritate your neighbors because you haven't cleaned off a drain, which is going to take you 5 minutes.
Right. No, and if you don't want to, we just talked about those HOAs where stuff like that's done for you, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yep. that's the good thing about HOA. So,
Yeah.
there is an expense to them, but the benefits of them are many as well.
Yeah.
So,
The values there.
yes,
Perfect.
it is. Let's see. Regarding the sewer system, we have turned that over to the county. So now they are owned by the county. If you have a sewer problem, you just need to call the department, Onondaga County WEP, Water Environmental Protection, directly. And there's a 24-hour hotline. That number is 435-3157. Normally people would call us at the town, the engineer or highway, and we simply call, it's a two-step process for us to call down to the county and report the same thing. So you can go ahead and call them directly. I mean, Onondaga County has actually been repairing some of the storm sewers. So those are actually have been turned over to them.
Okay.
Because the county has to maintain a certain level of, oh God, what's the word I want to say? They have to operate correctly. And so this way the county has the responsibility to take care of them. They know the condition they're in. They know what has to be done on them. Okay.
Okay.
And we are actually right now putting out to bid for sewer systems in the Seneca Knolls area that we are still finishing up. This has been a 10-year plus project where in the upper Seneca Knolls area, we have been improving the sewer systems up there, the sewer drainage, for the last, I don't know if it's 11 or 12 years, but this has been an ongoing project. We're putting the last part of this out to bid. So hopefully we can get it done later this summer, early this fall.
Okay.
But the other big thing is really up at the parks. The programs have started up there. And a lot of people use it. Please go up, take advantage of the park. The basketball courts are up. You can walk around there. The pavilions are available for rent. There are still some dates available, so go ahead and call for those. And right now we're in the process of repainting and restriping the tennis courts. And unfortunately, with all the rain we've had the last, week and a half, not quite done with that, but we anticipate it being done, the next few days, as soon as they can get it done. So, once those are done, so the nets will be right back up. You can go ahead and take advantage of that as well up there. But if you do go up there, please put your dog on a leash. They're not to be out just free roaming.
And it's tough because some people, they feel, well, my dog will stay next to me. It's always the kids you can't control, the other dogs you can't control. So, you do feel bad when someone takes all that time and they train their dog. And I can speak to this because I did not if anybody meets my dog, he's a mess, right? He's just the cutest little mess you ever want to see. And I'm always envious of people whose dogs stay right beside them. But then you have the spaz like my Spencer, who would just create havoc everywhere that he goes. So he's definitely a dog that always has to be on a leash. But it is tough, and people feel like their dog stay with them. It's not their dog necessarily; it's everything around them in the environment. So it does make sense when you see dogs off the leash and people get upset by it. Two sides of every story, but still. And I think there was a post or something that somebody had written about dogs running free in the parks, and they were hoping that they would be put on leashes. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't know if you watched Bob Wicks and I talked yesterday, and I made a faux pas because I didn't realize the spray park was open because my kids are teenagers. But the spray park over at the Town of Live Center has been open. But we did talk about the pool, and it's a shame that the pool in Van Buren isn't open. And last time you and I spoke, we were wondering, but it really came down to you didn't have time to get the lifeguards. You didn't have time to prep it. The county made those decisions so late that it's easy to open a spray park, which is just you turn on the water, and they had some prep and stuff to do. With the pool, there's a lot more involved. But I just did want to throw that out there because it wasn't that it was the Town of Van Buren's decision not to open the pool, because I had heard that in the community. It really came down to they made it almost impossible for you to open the pool, correct?
And we couldn't find lifeguards. I mean, we were out actively trying to recruit lifeguards, and if they had their certification, they just were already employed someplace else, and they also had to get recertified this year. They did not, from what I understand, the certification, if it ended in 19, they didn't allow that carryover year through 20. So all of those lifeguards had to get recertified this year. And that, again, lent to the lack of lifeguards. You'll see it at the county level. They only had 2 parks open this year, so it was very difficult to not have that available to the town residents. There's nothing more that we wanted to do to have that available. And I know Heidi and Kathy Perkins, before she retired, they were trying to do what they could to see how we could make that happen. And it just wasn't available, unfortunately.
No, and I just wanted to touch on that because, like I said, I had heard some things in the community just to clarify why it wasn't open. And it really did come down to finding out so late that a lot of the lifeguards got other jobs, or just finding ones that could take the position. So,
right. And you have to have enough lifeguards available on every shift. It's not just having 1 lifeguard or 2 lifeguards there. They have to have a certain amount of time on the chair, a certain amount of time, rest time, back and forth. You have to have quite a few people there on every shift. So, some people might just think, you just need 2 or 3. Okay, you're 7 days a week. Okay, you might have people working 5 or 6 days, but it's not just 2 or 3 people. So, those are little nuances that people don't realize.
There's always more to it than what you're obviously looking at. Speaking of things that have a little bit more to it, what's going on with Crago Farms? I know we spoke about that 2 months ago, and with the developer, and how's that, where we stand with that.
I know the developer has gotten a letter from the State Historical Preservation Office, and he has to respond to the items in that letter. So right now it's in his ballpark to figure out if they want to do all the digging that's required or required, and how they want to proceed with it. So, and we also understand that there are crops actually being grown right now on part of the Crago Farm land. So do you go in and disturb those crops and pay for the revenue that would have come from that? And that would be the developer's responsibility to pay for that. So, this thing isn't going to happen overnight. There are still many, many, many hoops to go through, and it is in the developer's ballpark right now.
Perfect. One other question I heard just chatter around the community is over by where 84 Lumber was, where Taco Bell is being built. Is there a oil changing place or something going there, or rumors about that as well?
Yes, that has been approved, and my understanding is that there'll be the oil change place, and they might build an additional storefront that they could rent out for someone else as well. But I don't know that second part has any occupants at this point. So yes, that is getting ready.
And where is that supposed to be at?
Next to the bank, next to M&T Bank, if I remember.
Okay. Yep. Those are the words around the grapevine or the community that I've heard that I was supposed to ask you about last month. And then we took the month off, everybody, Bob Wicks, the chief, you, we took our little summer leave, but okay. Well, is there anything else you want to throw out to the community before we part ways for the month?
Just that there's a lot of highway projects in motion right now. Village Boulevard North from the Circle down to Route 48. That was milled last week. That will get resurfaced. There was a lot of drainage work done with that. And that's what the highway department is out working on during the summer. Repairing drainage where they need to, installing things that have to be installed new. So, if it's a matter of completing drainage or sweeping off a storm water drain, our focus has to be on improving the infrastructure first.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, okay. Well, I appreciate your time as always, Mary Frances. I know, we both tend to have a lot of things going on in different directions, but it's nice that we can find this time on Wednesdays at 10 where we can both, kind of chime in. And Van Buren, there's just, you drive through there, to me, you guys have a lot of things going on, whether it's driving down Downer Street or going out towards Foxfire Golf Course, out that way. So, so I appreciate you keeping us in the loop of what's happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I will get back to you on the townhouse layout for Marion Gardens as well.
Perfect. I'll add it to the comments on the Facebook Live video so people will know. And actually, I can throw it into the description as well so that we have that answer. And I might be the only one that cares, right? But I want to know the answer.
I'm sure there's others that, oh, well, this is going to be available. What is the layout going to be? So,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you very much.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.